to Pixie Evil's world. So this episode, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about streaming. And there is a new platform out called Kick. And what I'm seeing is because of the popularity of it, because of the way the payments are when you get paid for when you hit affiliate, it's so much easier to move up. So firstly, there are some things that I want to address that has to do with Kick. A lot of people are moving from Twitch to Kick, but I want you to understand. Like, Kick is a newer platform. It is not near as big as Twitch is. So their servers aren't going to be as good. There's going to be some hiccups. And at some point, the payout is going to get adjusted. Whether they say they will or not, this is just how it goes. The same thing happened with Facebook. Same thing happened with, there was another streaming site. It didn't last very long at all. I only think it lasted a couple months. So I'm actually kind of surprised that Kick's lasted as long as it has. But back on point. So what I'm seeing a lot of is the ability to exploit like the tabbing of it, where you can get views, more than one views out of a tab, and exploit it so it looks like you've got more people viewing. Well, the thing about that is at some point you're going to get where people are going to stop tabbing and you're not going to have that many views. And then another thing that I'm seeing is people mass gift subbing at each other. So I know all you guys that are new are excited and you think that you're obligated and to mimic what everyone else is doing in order to keep up the momentum to get the support that you are that you want. But here's the thing. So these things are unsustainable because what you're doing is you're taking the income that you're making from those gift subs that you're getting and you're just spending it right back into other people and not realizing that there's no guarantee that you're going to get that same amount of subs that you just sent to you. And eventually what will happen is the hype's going to die off. People are going to stop supporting in the same amounts, and then you're going to realize that you're costing yourself more money than you're making. And ideally what you need to be doing is taking a percentage of what you're making in streaming from your subs or whichever income that you're getting from your streaming, and you need to take at least 25 to 50% of that money and invest it back into your stream. And either by upgrading equipment or buying overlays or other supportive stuff. I do suggest getting equipment and getting one piece at a time till you've built your setup. That is exactly what I did. That's how I was eventually able to get such a big setup like I have. I didn't buy it all at once, and it's not because I'm rich. It's because I took a little bit at a time. I took a portion of what I made in streaming and I invested it back into my streaming, which is just ideally what you want to do, especially if you intend to do it full time. That is what you need to do. So this gift subbing and tabbing and all this stuff. So for those of you that are new that don't realize it, you're actually doing support for support, and support for support is essentially a pyramid scheme, because always the ones that are on the very top are always going to be the ones that get all the support and make all the money. And eventually the people on the bottom don't get anything, because it's like a dwindle down system, and no dwindle down system works, because eventually you can only you'll run out of people to recruit in order to get the support. And that's the thing about streaming. And you'll also see that a lot of these people that start out and they're on here supporting and doing all this, they'll dwindle off and disappear. And that's just the natural order of streaming, because a lot of people don't understand exactly what all entails and the hard work that goes into streaming, because it's a business, whether you realize it or not. And if you don't have the consistency, if you're not entertaining, if you don't have interesting content that people want, they're not going to sit around and watch it. And you're going to get people not showing up into your chats to watch, and you're going to have issues. But don't let that discourage you, because if you really do want to stream, you can find a way. You can, so ideally you're making something that the viewer is consuming, some sort of visual or audio that the consumer is consuming. Whoever's watching is a consumer. Just like if they go to a store and buy something, those are consumers. They are literally there watching, and you need to be building that community. So you need to be interacting. So talk to the chat. Even if there's nobody in there chatting, you need to be talking. Like, you're going to have to learn to talk to yourself. If you don't, you're going to have a problem. And that was one thing that I never had an issue with, which is so funny. I've always been just a very talkative person, so talking to myself was not a problem. I will ramble on about some crazy shit and say weird, funny things. And I'm going to tell you now, just being myself, rambling off, saying the weird, funny things is what got me the followers and built the community that I have. Also, you don't want to stick with just one game or one thing that you do in stream, because eventually people are going to get bored of it and they're going to move on. They'll find someone else more interesting to watch. So basically, you want to make sure that you have a variety of different things that you do. I do honestly suggest doing community nights, where you do some sort of game that's a community game where everybody can play. There are a variety of games on Steam that you can get both for free or really cheap that you can, the chat can interact with. I don't know if some of these games interact with Kick, though. I don't think they have that integration. Some really good ones, and they do cost money, are the Jackbox ones. Those are great interactive games that you can use on your stream. And they will work both on Kick and Twitch. I kind of got all mine in a great big bundle on Humble Bundle. They'll have them on sale there. So I have like absolutely all of them. But my community really likes actually playing them. They're really interested. We have nights where we just do that. Another great one is Cards Against Humanity Online. If you'll Google, you can find it, and it's completely free, and you simply use a code and people could just join in, and everybody can play it. Fall Guys is also a great one. The only thing I don't like about Fall Guys and doing a custom is that you will end up having to go into a Discord, because you cannot use voice chats in the customs for Fall Guys, which I wish they would update and fix that, because it would be so much easier if you could. I'm trying to think. I think those are about. I'll see if I can find some more, and then I'll update you guys on those. But those are great community games. They're really fun. You do have to watch with Jackbox and Cards Against Humanity, because Warzone. You can do a Warzone custom match, but you need at least 150 people to do it. Or you could do the multiplayer and do a custom free-for-all and not have a limit on the amount of people. Those are really fun. We like to do those a lot, actually. We'll get together and do those. And then you can run it however you want, depending on your community and what you guys like to do. I will try to make a list of some more that are really great community games. I do have a Discord. You're going to need a Discord. You need to build like a main area where everybody hangs out, posts, and interacts. I use Discord both for my spicy content and, well, it's an all-in-one place for everything, for everybody to intermingle with each other and everything. We have movie nights. It gives your community an opportunity to hang out with you and interact with you outside of stream. You can have exclusive streaming nights just for Discord as well, because you can stream your games and everything there. And now Discord, if you hit all the requirements, you can set your Discord community up to have subs as well, just like it was Twitch or Kick. So, and there is a bot that you can put in that will allow you to get tips. You will have to Google that, and off the top of my head, I don't remember the name of the bot, so I'll have to look that up, and I'll give you updated information on that. So do that. The biggest tip that I can give everybody is just to be themselves. Don't be fake. Just be yourself. And then this support stuff, it just doesn't work. It never has. Those communities fall apart. You might see a bunch of follows, but the actual support and real fan base you're not going to have. And I know that's something nobody wants to hear, but it's the truth. And a lot of these people that make these support groups are just making them to make money off of everybody else. And as I said before, the ones on the top, they end up making all the money, getting all the follows, getting all the support, while everybody at the bottom doesn't. And at first, when these communities start out, it seems beautiful and it's great and everybody's getting all this, but in all actuality, it's not. It's just not how it is. You want to grow your community organically, meaning having the right tags, especially like Twitch. As long as your chat's active and you've got proper tags for what you're doing, you will bring in people that will randomly find you based on your tags and build your community that way. That's how I did mine. And do just talking streams. Just sit and just talk about things that you're going through, or relatable subjects that other people would want to listen to, and like interact with your chat. Come up with like daily questions for every stream as to like things, like a question that you're asking, and have it posted in your title, so that when they come in, they'll just answer it, and it gives them an opportunity to talk. Also, something that I think everybody needs to stop fucking doing is stop shaming lurkers. Lurkers are probably the most important thing that you're going to have as a streamer. Having lurkers keeps your chat numbers up. If you're bitching about lurkers, then you've got worse problems than the lurkers. Lurkers keep your numbers up, which gets you moved up on pages and by the web crawlers for each platform, whether it be Kick or Twitch. And I don't quite know how the Kick crawler works, but ideally I would think it was similar to Twitch's. So the more people on your stream watching, the further up the page your videos are. So just keep that in mind. Don't bitch at people who lurk. And a lot of times you need to understand that not everybody can be talking in chat and be supportive in that manner, because they're at work, or they have a house full of kids, or they're cleaning house, or they are driving, or there's 1,000 other things that are going on in their personal life, but they're taking the time to actually tab you and to be sitting there lurking so that you have that view. You should be very appreciative of it. Learn how to be grateful, because there are a lot of people that don't get those taps, that don't get those lurkers. And having those lurkers is something that you should be proud of. I love my lurkers. So there was a good time when there was a long period of time that I was actually like streaming really early in the morning when everybody was getting up to get their kids ready for school and they were going to work. And one of the things that everybody always loved was the fact that they could type me up and they could listen to the music and my conversation, just me talking as they're working and they're driving. And when they could like interact, they could, because I was talking about stuff it wasn't that it was interesting, it was similar to things that they were going on in their lives and with their streaming stuff, and it actually helped them through a lot of things. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes just sitting and talking, and the lurkers just need to hear your voice and feel like there's somebody there, and that maybe they're connecting with you and understanding you in a way you don't realize. Whether you're being funny, or whether you're talking about a serious subject, or whether you're sharing like your feelings and the things that are going on in your life, whatever it may be, just sitting there talking is sometimes all somebody needs. And the fact that they're not talking in chat shouldn't be an issue. Also, what I wouldn't do is when somebody lurks, say that person's name, because sometimes these people are very shy, and it's not that they don't want to talk in chat or you know, whatever. It's just they're very shy and they don't know how to talk and interact properly, and they're very nervous. So I don't ever call anybody out by their name when they lurk. I just say, thank you for that lurk, I appreciate it, and I let it be, because I don't expect everybody to be talking in the chat. I think that's an unrealistic expectation. I know that I sit in chats and I will just watch as I'm like folding clothes or like editing content or doing whatever it is that I'm needing to do. So just keep that in mind. It is a form of support. It's probably you're going to be your most loyal form of support, to be honest. So just understand that being upset over lurkers is probably the most, I hate to say it, it's just ignorant. It's very ignorant, and I'm not trying to call anybody dumb, but it honestly is. I think that when you've got that mindset that you have to attack lurkers or call them out, or you just don't like them, I think you're too worried about the wrong things. And you're not understanding exactly how everything works. And it's just because you're new, or maybe you've listened to somebody that's gave you some very bad advice. But I'm going to be honest. I've been doing this for 13 years, and lurkers got me on the front pages all the time on Twitch. So just keep that in mind. Having an active chat or having a lot of lurkers, that will get you on the front page. So, it's just how the crawlers work. I'm not really sure on Kick. I will do some research. And for anybody that is wondering, no, I'm never going to go to Kick. I have my own personal reasons as to why I won't. I won't get into that, but I'm not going to shame or diss anybody that goes over. It is your content. It is your stream. That is your business. It has nothing to do with it. I'm not paying your bills. It's, whatever you choose to do, you do. But as for me, I will not be doing that. Also, let's see. So I actually had a really weird experience on Twitter. I'm going to say it was probably earlier in the week, where I had someone who was extremely new to streaming, and they didn't understand that streaming is content creation. So, while I don't really understand the logic behind why they thought it wasn't content creation, but understand this. Even though you're streaming live, you are creating content. It's just live content, which makes you a content creator. And then what you also need to understand is you need to be saving those streams or taking clips from it or your games, and you need to be posting it to other platforms. The key to being really good in streaming is to not put all your eggs in one basket. You need to be spreading it across social media. You need to be cross-posting and cross-streaming. Before you do this, make sure that you're reading the terms of service for whatever streaming platform that you're streaming on to make sure that you can simultaneously stream. I hope I said that right. Because on some platforms, you are not allowed to stream content all at the same time. And you need to be reading those TSOs because nobody wants to, you don't want to end up getting your account removed because of it. And I wouldn't want that for anyone else, or end up having to start all over because you messed up. That would suck. That would super suck. I'm just saying. Also, I know I'm seeing a lot of people who are streaming. They're like, I've just lost the zest. And All right. Honest truth, you do not need to stream every day for freaking hours. Stop doing that. All you're doing is burning yourself out, and you need to be taking those extra moments, like rotate days, like stream, like the sweet spot for streaming and is 3 days, stream 3 days a week for 3 hours each stream. And it'll keep your averages at a really good level. You've got a good mix of people, and it won't mess it up. Because, see, the thing with Twitch is if you're streaming for hours on end, it goes by an average of the people, average viewers, which means it's a mathematical formula. It's not going on the real viewers that you have, if that makes any sense. So while it says that it'll give you a lower number amount because it's an average, it's not actual numbers. And if you're going to get to affiliate, if you're streaming a large amount of hours, it's going to have your average lower than what it should be. Whereas if you'll just stick to 3 days a week for 3 hours, you'll get affiliate within a week or two, I think is about especially right now, because where there's not so many people streaming on Twitch as there were before, you actually have the ability to be seen a little bit easier, whether you realize it or not. So just keep that in mind. And if you've already hit affiliate and you're starting to get burnt out, let me express this to you. Sit down, make you a set schedule. Do not stream every day. Do not stream for hours. You can set to the original formula of 3 days for 3 hours each stream. And that is perfectly healthy. And use the other days to do whatever personal stuff that you have, or take and be editing clips and content to be posting in other places. Don't sit and burn yourself out thinking that you need to be streaming every day for hours, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to burn out in such a way that you end up quitting. And I don't want to see any of you do that, and I don't want you all to give up. And it is perfectly okay to take time off. It is perfectly okay to take mental days. It is perfectly okay to take sick days. And make sure that you are prioritizing your actual families and relationships outside of the streaming platform and your community. The most important relationships, make sure that you're prioritizing those before you're doing anything else. Because I'm going to tell you that if you do not, you are going to regret it in the long run. Because you're going to be missing out on a lot of things. Just so you know. And just take it from me. I've been streaming for 13 years. I went full balls in and was doing it for hours and hours and hours. And I'm just going to tell you right now, just from my experience, you don't want to do it. And for those of you that have had to take these really long breaks and you're so scared that you're not going to come back, you're going to come back and you're not going to have a community, stop. I took a break for 3 years while we were sorting out the baby's health issues, and I was in and out of the hospital, Children's Hospital with him, and going through all the tests and going through a lot of personal things on top of it. And I'm going to tell you that I came back just fine, and my community is fine. Nobody left. Everybody was very supportive, and when I came back even stronger than what I had before. So do not look at everything as the glass half empty. Always look at it as half full. It's always a point of view. And if you do come back and you've lost people, then it's fine. Those were not your people, and it's fine. You're going to find as you grow as your streamer, as you start getting successful, as your community grows, people are going to change, relationships are going to change, you're going to lose some folks, you're going to gain some folks, and there's going to be ebbs and flows to things as you figure out what your community is and what your ideas are within your community. Just know that. You will find your people. Don't worry about it. It'll all come together. Just be patient. It's not something that you want to rush. Something that you guys might want to look up is the 1,000 fan formula. It's actually a mathematical formula that they use in the music industry to determine success. So what this is if you have 1,000 true fans, then you can make $10,000. And that right there, if you can do that, that is considered a success in the music industry. The same thing applies to actual streaming because, well, one, it's entertainment, just kind of like music. This formula means if you can get just 1,000 people who are honestly, truly your fans, and they are steady, like diehard fans, then you're good to go. So just remember that. You need to take time, you need to interact, you need to socialize and get to know these people. And something I also, because I'm going to run out of time, think about what your niche is. So a niche is kind of like a clique. So each of us has our own little spaces within the community that we actually categorize under, and finding your niche and then emphasizing on it will actually get you the community that you want. And something I suggest is sitting down and writing down the things that you're known for, and then decide out of those things what you want your niche to be. And if you don't know what a niche is, you can look it up and Google it, the definition of it, and it'll explain it. And anytime any of you guys have a question, you can hit me up on Twitter or anywhere else, and I do not care to help you with it. Also, there are a few books that I'm going to kind of recommend. I'm going to wait on the next pod because I'm going to give you all a list. And this list are books that were actually suggested to me by a very big streamer who I've known since I started. We started out at the same time. She became so much more successful than I did. And I absolutely love her to death. She's absolutely the sweetest, kindest person that I've ever met. She's just a wonderful person in general. And she's been through a lot too, so I don't want anybody to think that she hasn't. But she helped me get past all the naysaying I had in my head. If it hadn't been for her, I would not be where I'm at, and I wouldn't be pushing myself to do the things that I know that I'm good at. And yeah. So I'm gonna give her credit on a lot of stuff because she got me out of my head, and Yeah, because I extremely suffer with imposter syndrome. And my best friend will tell you right now, she gets on to me all the time. We actually had a whole argument during playing COD over it, because I don't see myself the way other people see me, and she jumped all over me because I have imposter syndrome. I don't see myself in the same light that all of you guys see me in. So just keep that, in mind, that everybody will eventually suffer. You'll get imposter syndrome at some point. And if you don't know what it is, I do suggest Googling it. And it's normal. It's a normal part of being in the spotlight in front of people. Just so you know. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to let this episode go. Next episode, I'll go through these books and I'll read them off. And I do suggest that you do this. I also just suggest getting a planner and actually sit down and planning out your streams, like the times and all that, and get yourself on track. It makes things a lot easier. I do have, I think, a content planner that I sell on Amazon. I know I don't mean to drop in the stuff to try to get y'all to buy stuff, but it's not very much. I think it's like $1.99. If not, holler at me and I'll adjust the price on it, because I am the one that made it and I get to set the price on Amazon. But and it is a digital download, so you can just, I think you can get it on Kindle or you can download it. If not, I have the download. I don't care if you want to just throw me $1, I'll send it to you. But it will be very helpful with getting your content planned out. Also, something that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but come up with a ritual. And by ritual, I mean a series of things you do before your stream to get ready, to get you in the headspace for stream. And it is going to make a huge difference in how you go about your stream, your attitude, and how comfortable you get. And don't stress out. Don't worry. Nobody's stream is ever perfect. And we all feel like that, we're not good at it at some point. Okay? Don't get discouraged by the numbers, by this. Turn anything off that shows numbers. Make sure you're not looking at your following constantly. Your growth is not determined by how other people grow. Everybody grows at at their own pace. And just because your growth is slower than Joe Blow's over here doesn't mean that yours is any less. It just means that maybe your community is more authentic than Joe Blow's because he's over here rushing everything. When you take your time, you have a better chance of connecting with the people around you than you do if you rush in using support for support, trying to get all these huge numbers to make yourself look big and famous. All of those people disappear and unfollow and leave and cause drama and do all kinds of stuff because they're not suitable for your community and who you are. So stop rushing things when you don't need to, because that is not organic followage. That's not an organic flow. It's not like finding your actual people. These are just people that are random. And so you understand, ideally, a human person can only actually full on connect with 150 people at a time. 150 people. So don't be upset if you have this really big community or really big followage or a really big following on whatever social media platform and you can't keep up with everybody and support everybody, because it's not realistic. I find it hard to even keep up with 150 people. I don't understand how anybody would be able to do that anyway. But ideally, a human can only have 150 real connections with people at a time. And a lot of times that's why we rotate out of friends and fall in and out of friendships, because you might be in a different place in your life than they are, and it rotates out, and it's all natural. It's normal. part of life. So don't expect yourself to be able to keep up with thousands of people and tab in thousands of streams. It's unrealistic. Don't get upset at yourself over it. And anybody that's getting upset over you not being able to support them how they feel you should support them, well, they can go suck a dick. Because it's just not cool and it's not realistic. They shouldn't be like that with you. The fact that you're following them and you're supporting in whatever form that you're able to support them should be more than enough. Because that's one thing I was never big on. If I support when I can, and you can do that if you want to. I'm not going to get mad at you if you're not in my stream every day. I'm not going to be mad at you if you're not reading my tweets every day, or retweeting everything, or liking everything, or talking to me every day. As there's a handful of people that I've known for years, and we check in on each other off and on all the time, but we don't expect each other to beat up each other's butts every day that we stream, and in all of our content. It's just not, realistic. We all have lives outside of streaming, and understanding that within your community is like the biggest key thing that you can do. Be there when you can be there, and don't worry about it if you can't. And if anybody has an issue or a problem with it, then they're not part of your community. They just don't have a place there, and they can kick rocks. So just keep that in mind. Do what you can, and don't worry and stress yourself out otherwise. So I'm going to see you all on the next podcast. I'm going to give you a list of books that I do suggest reading. It will help you grow your following. It'll help you understand how you build your community, and it'll kind of get you in a better headspace and have everything, the way you look at your streams, the way you're doing everything in a different light. And I know not everybody is going to want to be a full-time streamer, but these books are still good suggestions, because if they're not being used for your stream, they can be used in your work life or your life in general. So I'm going to tell everybody nights. Love you guys, and I hope to see you guys around. Bye.